Carlton Livingston. He was born on September 16th, September 19th, 1962. He's 61 years young. You understand me? Fine gentleman. Him have a hard waist.
Easy.
Please, don't test him, man. You know? Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, he was born in St. Mary. He grew up singing in the church. So now, if you listen to the voice of the man, you realize that he's got this authentic churchy car voice. Let's go on the line and reason with the one name, Carlton Livingston.
Big up, big up. Big up, King Lagazee. Big up.
Blessings, legend, what go on?
Yeah, the day in the Gideon.
Yeah,
not go already.
How is the vibe? How is the vibe with you?
Vibe ever nice, you know. Ever nice.
We give thanks.
Ever great. Yeah, man, give thanks.
We give thanks. Now, let's step into action. You understand me? We would like to know who Carlton Livingston is. Where were you born? How did you grow up?
Carlton Livingston. I was born in the town of Gale, St. Mary. In Gale, the parish of St. Mary. And I am the fourth of 6 children from my mother. With my father, I have 2 more brothers and 2 more sisters. And basically, I grew up with my big sister and my mother. And they are the ones that really shaped me into music. My 3 sisters play a pivotal role in my growing up when it comes to music. Like my middle sister, she usually play the piano, take lessons, and I usually go listen to her because her father was very, I wouldn't say wealthy, but well off, so he could afford a piano lesson. My little sister now, she is the brain. She was the one that gives me all the material to read because I'm an avid reader. I just read from I was young. And my big sister, she teach me the street smarts of life, how to survive.
Wow.
But my mother is the most pivotal role model in my life.
So what happened? Because researching about you tells me that you were a church boy those days and you end up singing in the church.
Yeah, because in those days, me and my brothers had to go to church. Every Sunday we had to go to church. And we had this uniform, which is blue pants, white shirt, black shoes, and a black bow tie. But growing up, I was a little bit, I wouldn't say a rebel. I was more out of place than even my brothers that I grew up with. So my mother usually played the organ in the Church of England in Gale. And so eventually I got on the choir, but I was just a little troublesome boy growing up, sneakily. And they kicked me off the choir. And I couldn't tell my mother for quite a while until she found out and give me a you know what, a ass whipping.
Wow.
But, it's just one of them things there.
Wow. So how did the music thing step in? Because if your sister, the father was wealthy, so they bought her a piano and you used to rehearse with her and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How did the music thing step in and how did the reggae entered?
Reggae entered, it's a process. I grew up listening to sound system playing in a hall that I lived near. Like I remember King Edward's The Giant, and my mother usually let me go early when they're stringing up to go watch it, but as soon as dance start, I had to come back home. So I was fascinated with the sound system and the music they play. And then after a while, there was this band in the community and I usually go listen to them rehearse. And so the music, what my mother was the linchpin in everything because my mother could sing. My mother, she, I mean, she could sing. So I kind of get that from her to a point because I always hear her singing, but then listening to these people around me, the music start to seep in. And as I go along, I start to improve my singing because my mother taught me how to sing. And it just worked its way in.
All right. So you schooled in the inner city, Trenton, and
Yeah.
you heard Bob Marley sing. How
Mhm.
did you meet him?
Yeah, because let me tell you, I have a friend named Doily. He was in this group named I can't remember the name of the group, produced by Tapazuki, Knowledge. Can we call him Knowledge? But I know him as Doily. And I lived in Eastern Kingston, and I ended up going to Trenchtown in Western Kingston, which my mother, she basically stressed out all the time. But Doyle took me under his wing, and Doyle would carry me down to Third Street, and I would see Bob and all the other people down there because he knew Bob, and he usually carried. Then he was interested in singing, and he usually carried me around to the studios. But we never have any luck in that early days because whatever it is. But all the credits going to meeting Bob Marley and being influenced going to Trenchtown is due to Doyle.
So when you met Bob Marley now, how did it? If you can put us in the know, what exactly happened? Was he nice to you and all that? Because from what I know, when I was in Jamaica, they say Bob opened his arms to everyone that come close to him.
Bob, listen, there's only one word to describe Bob. Bob is just Bob. I mean, the interpretation is there. Because even when I first met him, when I was going to Trenchtown, years after that, he evolved, usually come to a place named Asaase, come play soccer with Gilly, which is his cook. And the man them from certain man, Kuyan, certain man, and usually come play ball with a Sunday morning time. And more time you have a kid man that come from out of Bulby. And Bob, when we finish play, Bob just say, a man take piece of kid, and a man take this, and a man take that, and him take care of the kid, man. So Bob, listen, Bob was even, it's very hard to describe Bob. I mean, being around him. Because there were other people in the upper echelon to Bob, like Kuya, Prince, Matthews Lane man, them usually come, Bonnie Wheeler, usually come play soccer skill. And we were just there because that was our neighborhood. So we really get to meet him. But, yo, listen, Bob was just Bob. Bob was just Bob. Bob was just that person where, I mean, Bob has his mean side, but I'm telling you, he's something else, man. He's something else.
All right, so
Something else. The humbleness in Bob was enough for you to get up and rub off.
All right. So when I met Johnny Osborne told me that, and then he took me to the spot in Trenton where he used to sit. He said, I used to sit here with Bob and burn chalice from sundown to sunrise.
Yeah.
Were you also around him burning herb?
No, because when Bob come over to Asaase, Bob just come play soccer. Like in a Sunday morning team. Bob come play soccer and go for a while. But them time that the man them usually up in a place that we call the bush, and Bob them go smoke chalice. But after we play soccer, put it this way, most of us was bald. Let's put it that way. We never dread, but we are Rasta, but we never dread.
Yeah.
So we kind of, after ball game done, we will go with different way and Bob them up in the bush with Gilly and all the other man them and smoke chalice. But no, we never race long and smoke chalice with Bob.
All right. Did you have any chance in terms of recording with Bob those days?
No, no. Them time that my foot wasn't even in.
In
I didn't
music?
even step into music business.
Okay.
I was on the peripheral them times there.
Okay. All right. All right. So, in one word, how would you describe Bob?
I come back to the same thing. Bob is just Bob Brethren. There's no description to Bob. For me,
Yeah.
Bob is just Bob.
All right. All right. Okay. So, talk to us about the Fantastic Three.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
I say, talk to us about the Fantastic Three. Yourself, Lone Ranger, and Tony.
The Fantastic Tree was a sound system we started after we left Vauxhall Comprehensive High School. That's after I left Vauxhall, I went to Trenton. But after I left Vauxhall, me, a youth named Skinner, and a youth named Vassal started the sound system, and we call it Fantastic Tree.
Mm-hmm.
And Ranger start come around, and he was the singer on the song, and I was quote unquote DJ.
Right.
And it just started out like that. We come, and then after a while, he recognized that his talent was DJing, and I recognized that I could sing, which I didn't like singing because I always think my voice sounded very shrilly. But with encouragement, I started singing. I started DJ on Fantastic Tree.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the Fantastic Tree sound system that the IDEM set up, did you play in all the 14 parishes of Jamaica, or it was a little bit of a ghetto thing where
Fantastic was just an Eastern Kingston sound.
Okay.
Franklin Town, Alman Town, Rockfort, McGregor Gully, all of them places that we play.
Was it a juggling sound?
It was mostly a local sound.
Was it a juggling sound or a clash sound?
No, it was really, we wasn't a clash sound. We just a straight rubber dub sound.
Okay.
Straight rubber dub sound.
All right. All right. You live in Ghana, and for you to say rubber dub sound, a lot of people, might not understand what you are saying by rubber dub sound. So if you can explain it in terms of what is meant by rubber dub sound.
All right, rubber dub sound, we mostly play, sometimes we play vocals and then the dub after it. But after a while, it evolved where I just strictly Studio One, Treasure Isle, King Tubby's, and them things that we have played. We can call it B-side of the music, rubber dub sound. So that's our rubber dub sound. And the DJ upon it, one part of it. And then the singer, we start it off, and then we go halfway, we leave and come back on the DJ, the rubber dub sound. Strictly rubber dub.
All right. 26 minutes gone into the hour. 2 here on Asaase Radio, the voice of our land. We're live on 99.5 in Accra.
Easy.
98.5 in Kumasi.
Easy.
100.3 in Cape Coast.
Easy.
And 99.7 in the northern region, Tamale. Asaase Radio, we are nationwide, and our guest on the Legends Corner is the legendary Carlton Livingston, who is a Jamaican reggae vocalist.
Easy.
Now, after the sound system, the Fantastic Tree, after dealing with that, how did recording step in? Which studios were you recording at?
Well, we were on the sound singing and DJing, me, Ranger. And then you had a sound named Arrows with Puddy Roots Crutches. And this Tony Walcott get up and took us under his wing, tutor us. We practice every Saturday morning religiously. And after a while, he took, I think the first set to Welton and I was in it too. And it was Welton and Ranger went to Studio One and started to record. Then after they started, Tony took me to Studio One and to Channel One. And that's how I started recording because of Tony Walcott. And then in the process, the early process of doing that, my brother in Chester and a brother named Leon run True Seeker label, get up and said, listen, come do some work. So we start with Channel One, with Studio One, Channel One, and True Seeker label, you know, the outcome.
All right. So in 1984 now, you had a first big hit. Now, tell me about it. How did this song become a hit in 1984?
Well, 1984, that was like about 2 years after I immigrated to America. And Jalife and Percy Chin was doing, you know, recording like with Barrington Levy and stuff like that. And Percy said to me, you know, you're interested if I come do some work. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah. And we started an album over by Philip Smart Studio. Mm-hmm. And one night, I usually go to Washington, D.C. among some people down there that I knew. Mm-hmm. And one night I went to a dance and they were coming back to the hotel. Mm-hmm. And my friend said to me, we're going to make a detour. You don't mind? And I was like, no. And then we went to this house, and when we go to the house smelled kind of weird. I mean, not stink either, but just an unusual smell. Mm-hmm. And the fan was running, period. Mm-hmm. So we went downstairs with some black bags. And I said to him, please smell like weed, man. And he said, yeah, man. There's 100 pounds coming from me last night from a certain man, won't call him name, a certain man, and it bad. So I went back to New York on the Sunday, and by the Tuesday we were over back in Philip Smart, and we were doing like some late nights, from 2 o'clock in the morning to working till morning. And I remember Jalife, when I was away, Jalife and the 18 band I'd play the song. And when I go and I heard it, I just put on I just went inside there, sang 2 verses, and that was it. That was just the way Entrepreneur Cali come out.
Wow. 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 We give thanks.
Yeah, man.
Now, one thing I want to know from you is how did you meet Shaba for you and him to do that rumor, you know, collaboration?
The rumor collaboration came about because of Philip Smart, because Bobby was working over by Philip Smart. And at that time, I was married. I was living in Maryland. I got a daughter. So I was a family man. It's not that I gave up on the music. It's just that I was more concentrating on my family. Mm-hmm. And I remember I got a call, and it was Philip. And Philip was like, Carlton, Bobby looking for you, you know. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, why? He said, because he wants you to do over rumors. So I said to him, okay, I'll be up on the weekend. So I went up and I spoke to Bobby. And Bobby was like, yeah, I really want you to do this tune for me. But initially, because the tune was playing so much on King Sturgraph, mm-hmm. Initially it was supposed to be Josie Whale. This is what I was told. It was supposed to be Josie Whale. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what happened. So Josie Whale didn't turn up at the studio, but Shaba was downstairs in the other studio with Mikey, the engineer, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And this is the first I really got to meet Shaba. Mm-hmm. So after I put on the vocals, I was sitting in the chair listening back to it, and he came upstairs and he was like, Bobby, that's a voice of tune. Mm-hmm. And Bobby said, all right, go ahead. And I'm going, basically one take and put it down. And as them said, the rest of history.
Wow. Easy. Before we step into the issues of Dubplate and all that, somebody wants to know, how many albums have you?
I think about 5 or 6, you know. Probably about 5 or 6.
All right. What happened to you in Jamaica before you migrated to the US in the 80s?
The 80s was really was very hectic,
Yeah.
you know, because after I got the opportunity to start um, sing, which I initially I started out never wanting to sing, as I said, because I never liked my voice, and I was more a writer. I was just I don't even consider myself a singer. I consider myself a writer
Hmm.
because I love to write.
Hmm.
But because there was no outlet for me to get my songs done. My friends encouraged me to sing. The reason my friends really get me into singing because I wasn't interested. And after I did the initial really recording for Studio One and Channel One and Chill Seeker label, um, Robbie Shakespeare,
Hmm.
which is a very good friend of mine, and my friend named Clive and Ranger and Stickman from a place named Kirk
Hmm.
came to me and said to me, say, listen, we're doing some stuff. We'll come do some recording. So I was like, okay. And I said to them, actually, I said to Ranger, because Ranger was the one who really arranged it up.
Hmm.
And I said to Ranger, you know, my thing with recording. Uh, I mean, I'm going to write my song. So basically, I'm the publisher for my song. So I
Hmm.
own all my songs. I've never signed a publishing contract with nobody, no record company, nothing, because I realized that sometimes the producers they don't pay artists. So to get my money, I write my songs and I keep my publishing. I
Hmm.
mean, I share the publishing with the producers, some, but most of it is mine. That is my advance to me. And so I started, Ranger did the first, started to do some rhythms, and Ranger did his first album, which is I.O. Silva for Greensleeve Records. And then I did start do my stuff, which is Trotting Through the Jungle album with Sly and Robbie. And then after that, I started to do a lot of stuff with Sly. I was like basically around them doing stuff. And then other producers came along, like Winston Riley and other producers. And I started to put on vocals for them, right? And I usually write and record for them in
Wow.
the 80s.
In the 80s. So all these
Mm-hmm.
producers that you mentioned, like Sir Clement Coxon Dodd of Studio One, Winston Riley, Clive. You recorded with King James too?
Yeah, I did some work with King James, but that was like in the 90s.
All right, all right. So all these producers that you worked with, which one was
Yeah.
your favorite in terms of working?
Ah, Coxon.
Wow.
Cox actually with most producers I found it's ironic. Sometimes I sit and I look back. I found that most producers when I start because I didn't realize that the first set of works I did, I was a producer. Clive wasn't a producer. They were just names that people they were just fronting the stuff.
Hmm.
I produced my first album. When I went to Studio One to record, I picked my songs because
Hmm.
I had written stuff. I've written so many stuff, so I picked the rhythms and I listened to them, and then after a while, I will fit it in. But for me, it was Coxon. No, Coxon.
Coxon.
Coxon gave me all the leeway to record, to write and record.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, 37 got into the R2 here on Asaase Radio, the voice of our land. We're reasoning with Carlton Livingston, our guest, all the way from America. You understand me? You know, do you go back to Jamaica oftentimes? Or you don't go back at all?
Oh, oh no, I go back to I go to Jamaica quite often, but I mean a lot. But when I go to Jamaica, sometimes people don't even know I'm in Jamaica because I probably just stay at the house or I'm in Crossroad with Ranger. I just sit down, but I go to Jamaica like at least once a year.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the dubplate, you know, issues. You are an artist
Mm.
that is very good on dubplate. I have seen a lot of sound systems from Way Lonesome and all them and they're playing you, cutting you on dubs and all that. Which sound system did you first record dubplate for?
Jaro.
Wow.
Jaro. I did Jaro. I remember I was just fledgling in the business, and Tony Virgo took me up to Papa Jaro house one evening. And when I went up there, they had a tape, and they had put the on one track and the other track vocals. And the evening, I sat down and did like probably about 10 dubs for Jaros. Jaros is the first sound was playing certain dub. Like I sang them Itch It Up Operator. It was Jaro. Play by this a sound alone from the uptown area. That was Jaro's tune. First that's what I'm do for Jaro. Dubplate.
Me no have them song there.
Easy.
Wow. So around that time, Ricky Trooper was on Jaro, right?
No, I can't. No, it was Ainsley.
Okay.
Ainsley was a selector on Jaro at that time.
Okay. All right. And you did quite a number of dubs for Jaro on that night.
Yeah, man, about 10 dubs long and sing the evening.
Jesus Christ. Jaro must be loaded with Carlton Livingston then.
Yeah, man, them time that Jaro play, I was Jaro, I the only sound I play Carlton Livingston. Because, listen, I at that time I was working, I was a postman. Because I had gotten a son, so my philosophy in life, my child, I had to support my child. So I didn't really get up and like, I go studio. I only go studio if I was invited to go or I had work to do. So I was a postman, but the opportunity came in between because I had flex time. So I recorded, but I was just a working man like everybody else.
All right. So you ever to Africa yet? Any part of Africa yet?
No, I've been no. I want to tell you the only time I ever say Africa is one night with Italy, and we up in the mountains, and a man show me a light and say, say Africa that, and I always be like, yeah, I'm going there one day.
Definitely.
I always say that. I'm going to Africa one day.
Wow. So, what exactly is tying you down in the West? For
Nothing.
you not to come to Africa.
Nothing. It's just the opportunity hasn't come my way. And my thing in life that my mother taught me is about opportunities. And I always sought out my opportunities. I don't just jump like that. I'm very meticulous in things that I do at times, which sometimes can be a detriment, but it is what it is. But the opportunity hasn't come for me to come to Africa. So if it comes up, then I will take a look at it and see what value it has for me and whoever wants me to come. But definitely, I want to go to Africa. I mean, I've been to Japan, I've been to Brazil, and I've been all over. And I mean, my friends, we always want to talk and said the one thing, if you put it on a bucket list, is to go to the motherland.
Definitely.
That's my bucket list right there.
Wow. So what are the plans? Are you all right? So now you are on Asaase Radio, the voice of our land.
Yeah.
We are live on 4 radio stations across the country. And trust me, over 38 million people are listening to the show right now. So
yeah.
it is good that you've made a statement that, on top of your list right now is Africa. You understand me? So the promoters listening in Zimbabwe, Gambia, South Africa, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Carlton Livingston says he is ready for Africa. Denita Styles, him say greetings from America. Give thanks, Empress, for stepping on the lawn. We reason with Carlton Livingston and he's ever ready to come to Africa. So promoters, why not? Let's do some business. He's got countless of hit songs. You understand me? Yeah, he's got number of hit songs that, the man can step in and do solid 2 off, for you, and you will never regret it.
Easy.
So Carlton Livingston, what we have to do is, we have the link already. We must keep the link and build up.
Yeah, man, the link was strong, man.
Yeah, man, and build upon the links, and then we see the outcome. You understand? Because I have my South African people on the live, I have my Zimbabwean people on the live, I have my Kenyan people on the live, I have my Gambia people on the live and all that. And these are some of the reggae-prone areas in Africa that people really enjoy reggae music over there. And Ghana,
Yeah, man, big ups.
you know. So, any plan? Maybe summer is coming. Any plan to tour the world? Or do you have any new works, out yet?
Well, I always have works coming out like almost every month. I mean, like some of the stuff that I sent you, I have thing coming from Article Records out of Paris, Timex Records out of Paris. I have other works coming out for the summer in America now. I have a small tour coming up in New England, like about next month. And I'm working on coming back to Europe because I've been to Europe like in about 8 to 10 years now. But the opportunities start to open up again. So hopefully by the end of the year, I should be in Europe again.
Wow. You should be in Europe. And if you go on such tours, how do they receive you?
I will give you. I will give you a little snapshot. The first time I went to Brazil, for years when I'm on the road, I run into some people and they were like, "Do you know you're big down in Brazil?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Cool." And they're always talking about one song, "Fret Them a Fret," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then when I got the opportunity to go to Brazil, big up everybody down in Brazil. Teresina, my place, I love Teresina, man. I'm gonna go Teresina, go perform. When I saw the crowd, man, my knees wobble. Wow. And because there was so much people to come and see me. And I remember when I came to the airport, there was like 100 people out there with my T-shirt on, waiting on me.
Wow.
And it reminded me of the first time I went to Japan, where after I spent like about 2 weeks in Japan touring with Downbeat the Ruler. And when I came back home, it took me like about 2 weeks to get back. I was like, really? Because all these years singing, I just get up and my mantra was just get up and put out good works. That's it. I never look at anything else in the music business because there was that, ironically, there was a time when I got up and I remember it happened one night. I called Jalife and I said to Jalife, I can't bother with music. And he said to me, why? And I said, it's not because of the money. It's not because of the recognition. My spirit just tell me, that's it. You're doing enough work. Let it set clean. And I said, what do you think, Jalife? And he said to me, tell you what, I'll call you back tomorrow and we talk about it. And he never called me back. And I never stopped singing to this day. And sometimes we laugh about it. I was like, Jane, why didn't you call me back? It was like, why should I call you back? You're just going through a phase. So I went through that phase, and then I get up and re-energize and start to work. I mean, I've been doing so much work over the years, and a lot of them have been released. Most of it out of Europe, not a lot out of Jamaica, but mostly out of Europe with Timex Records. Fabio, big up Fabio, and Article, Sergio, big up too. So basically, that's what I've been doing all these years, recording stuff. I haven't done like the only set of work I've done was for Timex Records, which is Bridge of Life, and it spawned a couple of hits. We do Message to You, Rudy, the Carlton Livingston song, and we had a couple of songs. Me and Ranger. When I say we, I mean me and Ranger. We had a couple of songs we have a release in the movie Paris and in the movie Chef. So I mean, I've been doing stuff. It's just that it's not really out there. It's out there, but it's not really out there. So, and that's what I continue to do all the year is record and try to take care of my my business, which is like my publishing and stuff like that. Because over little unscrupulous people are going at them, want to thief the things. I'm just still look for them and laugh. Yeah. Them go on to them things. They don't know see me have this under control to a point.
Definitely. So, what do you make of the current crop of artists now, in terms of what they're doing? Are they doing the right thing?
Listen, the evolution that I have when it comes to music is that I accept what is going on with this current crowd. It's their music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about right or wrong. I don't look at life like that, right or wrong. It's somebody interpretation of the music that determine what it is. But it's just listen. When we were young and were singing, people usually say, "I hear that music, that a booga yaga music." Then be cursing music for the time. So it's just a for me. It's just a generational thing. My father never wanted me to get into singing, and he was he loved music, but he never wanted me to sing. My mother encouraged me to get into it and do what I need to do. So with this current proper musician, it's just what it is. You know, I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong, but it is what it is. Because
Yeah.
everything will filter out,
It is what it
It
is.
just take time. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, in case someone wants to do business with Carlton Livingston,
Yeah.
how would a person link you? How would they get to you? Is it on social media? Do you have an email that anybody can reach out to you in terms of business, in terms of they want you to call them dubs and all that kind of thing? How do they get to you?
Well, they can reach out to me on social media, and once you reach out to me on social media, I will then solidify the contacts and what needs to be done, from that point onwards. But I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, most of the platforms. Them.
Carlton Livingston, the
Uh,
same name. With the same name, right?
yeah.
All right. Or is there any different name on the other platforms? Or
No, it's basically Carlton Livingston, and the only change is on Twitter, which is 100 pound of Callaway, because I made it up a long time ago. So the
yeah.
brand is Carlton Livingston.
All right. All right. All right, Father.
Easy.
So Africa awaits for you, and
Yeah, man.
we can't wait to have you over here to sing for us. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. If
yeah, man.
if
It would be a great joy, man.
yeah, man. If we say advise the youth in reggae dancehall, what message would you have for them?
To be consistent, show up and work. That's it. Show up and work, because the only the only way you're going to get anywhere is to be consistent in your work and show up and work, because it's the audience that determines what it is, not you. Because like all these years recording, I have never recorded a song and say, boy, the song will be a big song. We just do it and people accept it and move forward with it, and that's it.
Wow. All right. 51 got into the R2 here on Asaase Radio. We have 9 more minutes to go away.
Easy.
Listen to me, man. When you talk to the legends, you will learn a lot. I think he said a lot, and I know you've learned a lot. But in wrapping up with Carlton Livingston, I would like to know, what are your down moments in terms of, your artistic nature? I'm not talking about anything, but your artistic nature. What were some of your down moments, and what were some of the glorious moments?
I really have down moments. My philosophy,
Mhm,
and this is me, is Ranger have this thing: steady as you go, Captain.
mhm.
And that's just me. I'm just steady. I really have peaks and I really have downs, because I try to be steady and go along. When the peaks come, I will go up, and when the downs come, I will go down, but I'll always come back up. And when I go up, I will always come back down to my level. So therefore, I don't have ego. I I don't. Sometimes I even shy away from the spotlight, because I don't like the spotlight. But it is necessary part of what I do. So it's very rare that I have down, and there's very rare I have up thing. I'm just steady,
All right.
consistent.
All right. All right, Father. We give thanks every time. Every time.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man.
But
Give thanks.
One thing rocking my head right now is that
Yeah.
Jaro have the most Carlton Livingston. And I am still wondering why. Lagazee Sound International must up their game. What do you think, Father?
Everything is a process.
Yeah,
That's all it
Father.
is. Everything is a process.
All right, Father. All right, Father. So we will keep the link and we will keep beating the songs and we'll keep creating the contact, spreading the news so that at least people will know where I'm going with Carlton Livingston. And also anything newsworthy about you, please let us have it so that we can put it in the public domain for the people, them to know where I'm going. Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I will do that. I will definitely keep the link, you know.
All right, Father.
Big up. Big up.
Respect, and manners.
Yep.
Thanks so much for your time and space.
Yes, I bless up.
Yeah, man.